A janitor like you? Play tennis with me? You don't even know how to hold a racket properly. If you beat me in just one game, just one, I'll marry you on the spot." Catherine Winters' mocking laughter echoes across the indoor tennis courts of Winters Industries. Her voice carries that particular brand of cruelty reserved for those she deems beneath her station. 200 employees stand frozen, watching their CEO publicly humiliate the man who cleans their offices at night. The fluorescent lights cast harsh shadows across her perfect features as she twirls her $3,000 racket like a weapon. Before we dive deeper into this story of hidden champions and shattered pride, if you're enjoying stories where underdogs rise from the shadows to claim their destiny, please consider subscribing to our channel. Your support helps us bring more tales of triumph over adversity. Now, let's return to that fateful moment on the tennis court. Ryan Cooper keeps his eyes down, his weathered hands gripping the mop handle as if it's the only thing keeping him upright. The silence stretches like a taut wire, ready to snap. At 38, he has perfected the art of invisibility, of being the ghost who makes their world sparkle while they sleep. But today, Catherine Winters has dragged him into the spotlight, and there's nowhere to hide. "What's the matter? Cat got your tongue?" Catherine steps closer, her heels clicking against the polished floor. Or maybe you're calculating how many floors you'd need to mop to afford one tennis lesson. The crowd titters nervously. Some pull out phones to record what they assume will be another viral moment of their CEO asserting dominance. Michael Harrison, the CFO, watches from the VIP viewing box with an expression of mild amusement. His fingers drum against the railing in a rhythm only he understands. Ryan finally looks up, and for just a moment, Catherine sees something flicker in his green eyes. Not anger, not shame, but something else entirely. Something that makes her grip her racket a little tighter. "I should get back to work, Miss Winters," he says quietly, his voice carrying an unexpected steadiness. "The floors won't clean themselves." "Oh no, you don't get to walk away now." Catherine's voice sharpens to a blade's edge. "You see, everyone here knows I've won the company tennis championship 5 years running. They know I trained with former pros, that I've never lost a single match to anyone in this building." She gestures broadly to the assembled crowd. "So here's my offer, my challenge to every single employee of Winters Industries." The room leans in collectively. Even the security guards abandon their posts to listen. Catherine's assistant, Jennifer Blake, appears at the edge of the court, tablet in hand, her expression carefully neutral. She positions herself where she can see everything, record everything. "If any employee, janitor, secretary, analyst, anyone, can beat me in even one game of tennis, I will marry them immediately." Catherine spreads her arms wide, embracing the absurdity of her own declaration. No prenup, no conditions, just pure, simple victory, earning the ultimate prize. The crowd erupts in whispers and gasps. Some laugh at the impossibility of it. Others calculate their chances. Michael Harrison's smile widens imperceptibly. He pulls out his phone and types a quick message to someone. Ryan turns to leave, but Catherine's voice stops him cold. "Especially you, Mr. Cooper. Surely a big, strong man who pushes a mop all night could manage to hit a fuzzy yellow ball?" His shoulders tense, and those watching closely might notice how his left hand unconsciously flexes, forming a grip around an invisible handle. The fluorescent lights flicker overhead, casting him in alternating light and shadow. "I'm just a janitor, Miss Winters," he says without turning around. "I know my place." "Your place is wherever I say it is during company hours," Catherine shoots back. "And right now, I'm saying your place is on this court, unless you'd prefer to find employment elsewhere." The threat hangs in the air like a guillotine blade. Ryan slowly turns around, and the crowd parts as he walks toward the equipment rack. His movements are measured, careful, like someone trying not to disturb a sleeping predator. He selects a racket, not the newest or most expensive, but a mid-range model with worn grip tape. His fingers adjust the strings absently, testing the tension with the practiced ease of, "Did you see that?" someone whispers. The way he's holding it. Catherine notices too, the way his hands seem to know exactly where to position themselves, how his stance shifts almost imperceptibly into something approaching proper form. But she dismisses it as coincidence. After all, anyone can watch tennis on television. Anyone can mimic what they see. "One game," she says, tossing him a can of balls. "First to 4 points wins, unless you'd prefer to back out now and save yourself the embarrassment." Ryan catches the can without looking, another detail that Jennifer Blake carefully notes on her tablet. "What are the stakes?" he asks quietly. "I already told you. Win and I'll marry you." Catherine's laugh is sharp as breaking glass. "Lose, and you admit in front of everyone here that people like you don't belong in the same world as people like us." The cruelty of it makes several employees shift uncomfortably, but nobody speaks up. Nobody defends the janitor who keeps their workspace clean. Michael Harrison descends from the viewing box, his Italian leather shoes silent on the stairs. He positions himself where he can observe both players closely. "That's quite a wager, Catherine," Michael says smoothly. "Are you certain you want to make such a public declaration? The board might have opinions about such impulsive decisions." "The board trusts my judgment, Michael," Catherine replies, without taking her eyes off Ryan. "Besides, look at him. Does he look like someone who could win a single point against me?" Ryan sets down his mop and bucket carefully, rolling up the sleeves of his janitor's uniform. Those watching notice scars on his forearms, old marks that tell stories of impacts and friction. He walks onto the court, testing the surface with small, quick steps. Muscle memory is a terrible betrayer of secrets. "I need to pick up my daughter at 4 p.m., he says simply. "Can we make this quick?" The mention of a daughter causes a ripple through the crowd. Humanizing details are dangerous in corporate theaters of cruelty. Catherine's expression flickers for just a moment. Surprise, perhaps, or something else. But she recovers quickly, her mask of superiority sliding back into place. "This won't take more than 5 minutes," she assures him, taking her position at the baseline. Jennifer Blake moves closer to the court, her phone now recording everything. She sends another message to someone, her fingers flying across the screen. "Phase 1 initiated," she types. "Subject has taken the bait." Ryan bounces the ball once, twice, his movements still careful, still restrained. But those who know tennis really know it, can see something in the way his shoulders align, the way his weight shifts. Coach Bradley, arriving late to collect equipment from the storage room, freezes in the doorway. His face drains of color as recognition dawns. "Dear God," he whispers, but his voice is lost in the crowd's anticipation. Catherine prepares to receive serve, her body coiled with athletic confidence. She's already composing her victory speech, already imagining how this will play on social media. The janitor who thought he could challenge the CEO. It will be perfect content for the company newsletter. Ryan tosses the ball up, and in that moment, something changes in his posture. The careful slouch disappears, replaced by something elegant and powerful. His arm extends in a motion so fluid, it looks like water flowing upward. The racket meets the ball with a crack that echoes through the building. The serve is nothing special, deliberately so. Just a basic flat serve that Catherine returns easily. But those who know what to look for see the perfection in its simplicity. The placement, the spin, the depth. Everything exactly where it needs to be to start a point, without revealing anything more. They rally, Catherine attacking with her textbook strokes, while Ryan merely keeps the ball in play. His movement is minimal, economical, using her power against her. The crowd watches, mesmerized by something they can't quite identify. It's like watching a master chef pretend to struggle with a can opener. "Is that all you've got?" Catherine taunts after winning the first point with a passing shot. "I've seen ball machines with more personality." Ryan says nothing, simply returns to position. The second point begins with another deliberately average serve. This time, Catherine tries to end it quickly with an aggressive return. But somehow Ryan is already there, his positioning perfect, despite his apparent lack of speed. The ball comes back with just enough depth to push her back, then again and again, until she's defending instead of attacking. Michael Harrison's eyes narrow as he watches. He pulls out his phone and opens a search engine, typing quickly. His expression shifts from curiosity to calculation as results begin to appear. He glances at Jennifer Blake, who gives him the slightest nod. The second point stretches longer than the first, Catherine growing frustrated as every winner she tries to hit comes back with mechanical precision. Ryan isn't playing tennis so much as solving an equation. Input her shot, calculate trajectory, output perfect defensive position. It's maddening in its simplicity, humiliating in its effectiveness. "Fight back!" Catherine snaps after yet another defensive return. "Or can you only push a mop with authority?" Something flickers across Ryan's face. Pain, perhaps, or memory. His next shot has just a touch more pace, landing exactly on the baseline. Catherine, surprised by the sudden depth, hits her return into the net. The score is now 1-1. "Lucky shot," she mutters, but doubt creeps into her voice like cracks in ice. Jennifer Blake types furiously on her tablet. "Subject showing more skill than anticipated. Recommend acceleration of timeline." The response comes immediately. Proceed to phase 2. The third point begins with Catherine serving, her motion aggressive and full of barely contained fury. She wants to crush this janitor, to put him back in his place. The serve is her best weapon, clocking at nearly 90 miles per hour, impressive for an amateur. But Ryan reads it like a children's book, stepping into the return with timing that speaks of 10,000 hours of practice. The return is still restrained, still careful, but it lands at her feet with backspin that makes the ball die on the bounce. Catherine scrambles, manages to get it back, but she's out of position. Ryan's next shot is a gentle lob, perfectly placed. She sprints back, leaps, swings with everything she has, and misses by inches. 2-1. Ryan's favor. The crowd has gone silent, sensing something momentous happening but unable to name it, like watching a magic trick where the magician hasn't revealed the prestige yet. Coach Bradley pushes through the crowd, his face urgent, but Michael Harrison intercepts him smoothly. "Coach Bradley, what a surprise," Michael says pleasantly, gripping the older man's arm just firmly enough to be a warning. "We should catch up. It's been, 10 years since that unfortunate incident?" Bradley's eyes widen with understanding and fear. He allows himself to be led away from the court, but not before catching Ryan's eye. The look they exchange is loaded with history, with secrets that have been buried under 10 years of silence and shame. Catherine prepares to serve for the fourth point, her hands trembling slightly with rage and something else, fear, perhaps. The fear of someone used to winning suddenly facing the possibility of loss. She tosses the ball high, brings her racket around with violent force. The serve is fast but wild, catching the net cord and dropping onto her own side. "Fault," someone in the crowd whispers. Her second serve is safer, more controlled. Ryan returns it down the middle, giving her every opportunity to take control of the point. But Catherine's confidence is shaken now. Her shots lack their usual precision, her footwork just slightly off. They rally back and forth, Ryan still playing that maddening defensive game. Waiting, watching, calculating. Then Catherine sees an opening. Ryan has left the court slightly open on his backhand side. She winds up for a winner, putting everything into the shot. The ball rockets toward the corner, a certain point winner. The crowd holds its breath. Ryan doesn't run. He glides, his movement so smooth it looks like special effects. His backhand, when it comes, is a thing of beauty. A one-handed slice that floats back with deceptive pace. The ball lands exactly on the junction of baseline and sideline, impossible to return. 3-1. Game point for the janitor. The silence is deafening. 200 people stand frozen, watching their untouchable CEO face defeat at the hands of a man who empties their trash. Catherine's face has gone pale, her legendary composure cracking like a dam about to burst. "Who are you?" she breathes, the question barely audible. Ryan looks at her across the net, and for the first time since stepping onto the court, he speaks with something other than deference. "I'm nobody, Miss Winters. Just a man trying to pay for his daughter's medical bills." The words hit Catherine like a physical blow. Suddenly the game feels less like sport and more like cruelty. She serves for what might be the last point, her mind reeling. The ball comes off her racket without its usual venom. Ryan could end it here with any number of shots. A winner down the line, a drop shot, even a simple passing shot. But instead, he hits the ball directly to her. A gentle shot that begs to be attacked. Catherine swings, makes contact. The ball flies back toward Ryan's side of the court. He lets it go, watching as it lands just wide of the sideline. "Out," he calls quietly. "Your point, 2-3. The crowd explodes in confused murmurs. Why would he give away the point? Catherine stares at him, understanding dawning in her eyes. He could have humiliated her, could have claimed his victory and her hand in marriage, but instead he's giving her a way out. "Your serve," she says, her voice hollow. Ryan serves, another deliberately average delivery. They rally, but the fire has gone out of the match. Both players are going through the motions now, performing for an audience that doesn't understand the subtext. Catherine wins the next 2 points easily, too easily, taking the game 4-2. "Congratulations, Miss Winters," Ryan says, setting the borrowed racket back on the rack. "You win, as always." He picks up his mop and bucket, preparing to return to his invisible life. But Catherine's voice stops him. "That wasn't real," she says, loud enough for only him to hear. "You let me win. Why?" Ryan turns slightly, not quite meeting her eyes. "Because winning isn't always about the score, Miss Winters. Sometimes it's about keeping your job so your daughter can keep her health insurance." The words land like stones in still water, ripples spreading outward. Catherine opens her mouth to respond, but Ryan is already walking away, disappearing through the service door into the bowels of the building where people like him belong. Michael Harrison approaches Catherine, his expression carefully composed. "Well, that was interesting. Perhaps we should review our employee entertainment policies." "Not now, Michael," Catherine snaps, her mind still processing what just happened. Jennifer Blake appears at her elbow, tablet ready. "Shall I send out a company-wide email about your victory?" "No," Catherine says quickly. Too quickly. No emails, no announcements. She walks off the court, her heels clicking with less certainty than before. Behind her, the crowd disperses slowly, everyone returning to their designated roles in the corporate hierarchy. But something has shifted. A crack has appeared in the facade. In the basement maintenance room, Ryan Cooper sits on a clenched metal bench, his head in his hands. His whole body shakes with the effort of suppression, of keeping 10 years of muscle memory locked away. On the wall behind him, partially hidden behind a calendar, 3 photographs are tucked into the frame. 3 moments from another life, when Ryan Cooper was someone else entirely. The first shows him holding up a golden trophy at Wimbledon. The second at the US Open, champagne spraying in celebration. The third, taken just weeks before everything fell apart, shows him with a woman and a baby. A family portrait of happiness that would soon shatter into a million pieces. Coach Bradley finds him there an hour later, after the building has mostly emptied. "Ryan," he says softly, "we need to talk." "There's nothing to talk about, Coach." Ryan doesn't look up. "That life is dead. Buried." "Michael Harrison knows," Bradley says urgently. "He recognized you. I saw him searching on his phone during the match. And that assistant of Catherine's, Jennifer Blake. She's been taking photos, making notes." Ryan's head snaps up, fear flooding his eyes. "If they expose me, if this gets out, Lily's treatment, her doctors, I know," Bradley interrupts. "That's why we need to get ahead of this. Tell Catherine the truth before they twist it into something worse." "The truth?" Ryan laughs bitterly. "The truth is that I'm a convicted cheater who got banned from professional tennis. The truth is that my daughter has a congenital heart condition that requires constant medical attention. The truth is that I clean toilets to keep her alive. Which part of that truth do you think will help?" Bradley sits beside his former protege, the weight of 10 years of guilt heavy on his shoulders. "The truth about what really happened that night in Miami, about who really put those substances in your water bottle. We've been over this," Ryan says wearily. "No one believed me then. Why would they believe me now? Because now we might have an ally," Bradley says carefully. "Catherine Winters isn't just any CEO. Her father died in prison for a crime he didn't commit. If anyone might understand being falsely accused, it's her." Ryan stands abruptly, grabbing his supplies. "No, I'm not dragging her into this. I've already revealed too much today. Tomorrow I'll go back to being invisible, and everyone will forget this ever happened." But even as he says it, both men know it's too late. The wheels are already in motion, and there's no stopping them now. Catherine Winters hasn't slept. The ghost of yesterday's tennis match haunts her corner office as dawn breaks over the city skyline. She replays every shot, every movement, every flicker of something deeper in Ryan Cooper's eyes. The way his body knew the court, like a lover knows their partner's heartbeat. The janitor, who wasn't just a janitor. The nobody, who chose to remain nobody. At 5 a.m., she's still at her desk, laptop open to a search page. She can't bring herself to complete. Her fingers hover over the keys, ready to type his name, ready to uncover whatever secrets he's buried. But something stops her. Perhaps respect. Perhaps fear of what she might find. Or perhaps the memory of his voice when he mentioned his daughter. A soft knock interrupts her thoughts. Jennifer Blake enters, carrying 2 cups of coffee and wearing the same clothes from yesterday. "I thought you might still be here," she says, setting a cup on Catherine's desk. Her smile is perfectly calibrated, concerned, but not intrusive. "Couldn't sleep," Catherine admits, accepting the coffee gratefully. "Yesterday was unexpected." "The janitor?" Jennifer settles into the chair across from her, tablet already in hand. "I ran a preliminary background check, nothing remarkable. Single father, daughter named Lily, 8 years old. Worked here for 2 years. Perfect attendance record." Catherine notes how quickly Jennifer produced this information, how she knew exactly what her boss would want to know. That's all? Well, Jennifer hesitates, a perfectly timed pause. There is one oddity. His employment history has a 10-year gap. From age 25 to 35, he essentially doesn't exist in any system. No credit cards, no addresses, no social media. The mystery deepens, pulling Catherine further in. She leans back in her chair, studying her assistant. Jennifer has worked for her for 3 years, efficient and invisible until needed. The perfect corporate shadow. But now Catherine wonders what shadows hide shadows, what secrets nest inside other secrets like Russian dolls. Should I dig deeper? Jennifer asks, her tone carefully neutral. Before Catherine can answer, her desk phone rings, security calling from the lobby. Miss Winters, there's a situation at the south entrance. Mr. Harrison requested your immediate presence. The south entrance is where the service staff enters, where people like Ryan Cooper begin their invisible days. Catherine and Jennifer take the executive elevator down, the descent feeling longer than usual. The morning light streams through the lobby's glass walls, illuminating a scene that makes Catherine's stomach drop. Ryan is there, on his knees beside a small girl who's gasping for breath. "Lily, sweetheart, where's your inhaler?" Ryan's voice is steady but urgent, his hands gentle on his daughter's shoulders. The girl's face is pale, her breathing labored and wheezing. Michael Harrison stands nearby, phone in hand, looking uncharacteristically shaken. "The ambulance is 3 minutes out," he says, then quieter to Catherine. She collapsed just as they arrived. Some kind of severe asthma attack. Her medication ran out yesterday. Catherine moves without thinking, dropping beside the girl. She pulls off her suit jacket, folding it into a pillow for Lily's head. "Hey there," she says softly, her CEO voice replaced by something warmer. "Your dad tells me you're an artist." Lily's eyes, green like her father's, focus on Catherine with difficulty. She tries to speak, but can't get enough air. Ryan produces a wrinkled piece of paper from his pocket, a child's drawing of 3 people playing tennis under a rainbow. Even in the midst of crisis, the detail is remarkable. "She wanted to give this to you," Ryan says, his voice breaking slightly. "After yesterday, she said you seemed sad, that maybe you needed a family to play tennis with." The innocence of it, the pure kindness from a child who's struggling to breathe, hits Catherine like a physical blow. She takes the drawing with trembling hands. "It's beautiful, Lily. The most beautiful thing anyone's given me in years." The ambulance arrives in a chaos of sirens and efficient movement. Paramedics swarm around Lily, oxygen masks settling over her small face. Ryan climbs into the back without hesitation, but pauses at the door. His eyes meet Catherine's, and in them she sees not the careful janitor or the hidden athlete, but a father, drowning in fear. "Her insurance was canceled yesterday," he says quietly. "After the tennis match, they said there was an error in the system, but—" "Go!" Catherine cuts him off. "Take care of your daughter. I'll handle everything else." As the ambulance pulls away, Catherine turns to find both Michael and Jennifer watching her with unreadable expressions. The morning sun casts long shadows across the lobby, and she has the sudden feeling of being on a stage, performing for an audience she doesn't fully understand. "Jennifer, call St. Mary's Hospital," she commands, her CEO persona snapping back into place. "Tell them Lily Cooper is to receive whatever treatment she needs. Winters Industries will cover all costs." "That's very generous," Michael says carefully. "The board might question such a personal expenditure." Catherine's eyes flash dangerously. "The board can question whatever they like, but first, perhaps they should question why an employee's health insurance was mysteriously canceled the day after he played tennis with me." Michael's expression doesn't change, But Jennifer types something quickly on her tablet. A message to someone. Coordinates being updated. Pieces moving on a board only she can see. "I'll look into it immediately," Michael says smoothly. "System errors have been increasingly common. Perhaps we need to review our insurance provider." He walks away, pulling out his phone as he goes. Catherine catches a fragment of his conversation. "Yes, the child is at the hospital now. No, he doesn't suspect anything yet." Jennifer touches Catherine's arm gently. "You should go to the hospital. I can handle things here." "Why would I go to the hospital?" Catherine asks, though she's already moving toward the door. "Because," Jennifer says with a knowing smile, "that little girl's drawing included you in her family. Maybe it's time you stopped playing tennis alone." The words feel loaded with meaning Catherine can't quite grasp, but she doesn't have time to analyze it. 20 minutes later, she's walking through the pediatric ward of St. Mary's, the sterile smell of disinfectant unable to mask the underlying scent of fear and hope. She finds Ryan in the waiting room, his head in his hands, still wearing his janitor's uniform. "How is she?" Catherine asks, sitting beside him. Ryan looks up, surprised to see her. "Stable. They got her breathing under control. But the underlying condition," he trails off, the weight of years visible in the slump of his shoulders. "She needs a cardiac specialist. Her heart and lungs aren't communicating properly. It's been getting worse." Catherine absorbs this information, fitting pieces together in her mind. A daughter with a serious medical condition. A father with a mysterious past. A 10-year gap in employment history. "That's why you took the janitor job. For the insurance. It was supposed to be enough," Ryan says quietly. "The base coverage was good, comprehensive. But last month they changed the policy terms. Experimental treatments weren't covered anymore. Specialized care required additional authorization." His hands clench into fists. "I've been trying to save money, taking extra shifts, but it's never enough. It's never enough." "Tell me about Miami," Catherine says suddenly, the words surprising them both. Ryan goes very still, his entire body tensing like a spring about to snap. "I don't know what you mean." 10 years ago, Miami, the tennis championship. Ryan Cooper, age 28, ranked 3rd in the world, tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs and banned for life. Catherine's voice is gentle but insistent. "I looked you up this morning. Well, I started to. Your face was familiar. But the beard, the weight loss, you've worked hard to become invisible." Ryan stands abruptly, pacing to the window that overlooks the parking lot. "That man is dead. He died the day they destroyed his life for something he didn't do." "Who's they?" Catherine presses. Before Ryan can answer, Coach Bradley appears in the doorway, his face grave. Behind him is a woman Catherine doesn't recognize, mid-40s with sharp eyes and an FBI badge on her belt. "Agent Martinez," the woman introduces herself. "We need to talk about Jennifer Blake, or should I say, Jennifer Morrison." The name hits Ryan like a thunderbolt. His face drains of color as he sinks back into the chair. "Morrison? As in Derek Morrison. His older sister," Agent Martinez confirms. "She's been planning this for 10 years, Mr. Cooper, getting close to Miss Winters, waiting for you to surface. We've been tracking her for 3 years, but we needed her to make a move. Yesterday's tennis match was the catalyst we've been waiting for." Catherine feels the floor shifting beneath her feet, reality rearranging itself into new patterns. Jennifer is involved in what happened to Ryan 10 years ago. "Derek Morrison was ranked 4th in the world," Coach Bradley explains, his voice heavy with old guilt. "When Ryan was banned, Derek moved up to 3rd, got the endorsement deals, the fame, everything that should have been Ryan's. But Derek couldn't handle the pressure," Agent Martinez continues. "He started using actual performance enhancers, got caught 2 years later, lost everything, spiraled into depression, and eventually took his own life. And Jennifer blamed me, Ryan says hollowly, even though her brother was the one who put the substances in your water bottle that night in Miami. Agent Martinez interrupts. We have the confession. He wrote it all down before he died, but Jennifer destroyed most of it. We've only been able to recover fragments, enough to know the truth, not enough to prove it in court. Catherine's phone buzzes. A text from Jennifer. Where are you? Michael is asking questions. She doesn't know we're on to her, Agent Martinez says, reading Catherine's expression. We need to keep it that way. Let her think her plan is working. What plan? Catherine demands. To destroy Ryan completely, publicly, and make you the instrument of that destruction, Martinez explains. She's been feeding information to Michael Harrison, manipulating him into thinking Ryan is a threat to the company. Meanwhile, she's been setting up a scenario where Ryan will be forced to reveal himself. The insurance cancellation, Catherine breathes. She did that, to force him into desperation. Among other things, Martinez nods. But what Jennifer doesn't know is that Michael Harrison isn't who she thinks he is. The door opens again, and Michael himself enters. But something is different. His usual corporate swagger is gone, replaced by the bearing of someone with entirely different training. He reaches into his pocket and produces a badge. DEA. Agent Harrison, he says to Catherine's stunned expression. I've been undercover at Winters Industries for 2 years, investigating a money laundering operation that Jennifer Morrison has been running through your company's accounts. Catherine sinks into a chair, overwhelmed by the revelations, crashing over her like waves. My company is being used for money laundering? Was, Michael corrects. We shut down the main operation 6 months ago, but we kept Jennifer in play to catch the bigger fish. She's been in contact with some very dangerous people, promised them a major score. And that score involves me? Ryan asks. The charity tennis tournament next week, Michael explains. Prize money of $300,000. Jennifer's arranged for that money to be diverted to offshore accounts. But she needs a distraction. Something big enough that nobody notices the theft. You, Mr. Cooper, humiliated and exposed, were meant to be that distraction. A small voice from the doorway interrupts them. Daddy? Lily stands there in a hospital gown, still pale but breathing normally. A nurse hovers behind her, looking apologetic. She insisted on finding you, the nurse explains. Ryan drops to his knees, gathering his daughter into his arms. Catherine watches them, seeing the drawing come to life. A father and daughter who've survived on love and determination alone. Is the pretty lady here? Lily asks, peering around her father. Her face lights up when she sees Catherine. You came. Did you like my picture? I loved it, Catherine says, kneeling beside them. It's the best gift anyone's ever given me. Lily reaches out, taking Catherine's hand with the simple trust only children possess. Daddy's sad a lot, she whispers conspiratorially. But he wasn't sad after playing tennis with you. Maybe you could play again? The innocence of it breaks Catherine's heart. This child doesn't know about hidden identities or corporate conspiracies, about the weight her father carries or the danger circling them. She just sees two lonely people who might be less lonely together. I'd like that, Catherine says softly. Agent Martinez clears her throat. We need to discuss the plan. Jennifer expects you back at the office, Miss Winters. If you deviate from routine, she'll know something's wrong. Then I go back, Catherine says, standing with new determination. I play the part she expects. The arrogant CEO who just discovered her janitor is a fallen tennis star. Let her think she's winning. It's dangerous, Michael warns. Jennifer's desperate. 10 years of planning are coming to fruition. When cornered, she'll be unpredictable. Then we give her what she wants, Ryan says suddenly. everyone turning to look at him. She wants me exposed, humiliated, wants Catherine to be the one to do it. So we do exactly that, but on our terms. The charity tournament, Catherine says, understanding dawning. You enter as yourself, as Ryan Cooper. We make it the story of the century. Fallen champion returns for redemption. CEO Catherine Winters personally sponsors his comeback. Jennifer won't be able to resist, Michael agrees. She'll see it as the perfect stage for final revenge. Coach Bradley, who's been silent, finally speaks. There's something else you all need to know. I've kept evidence from that night in Miami. Video footage from the hotel security camera. It's grainy, but it clearly shows Derek Morrison near Ryan's water bottle. Everyone stares at him. Ryan's expression cycles through betrayal, anger, and finally exhausted understanding. You've had proof of my innocence for 10 years? Ryan's voice is dangerously quiet. It wasn't enough to overturn the ban, Bradley says miserably. The tennis association wouldn't accept it without corroboration. And after Derek died, I thought it would only cause more pain. You let me lose everything, Ryan says, each word precise as a blade. My career, my reputation, my wife. She left because she couldn't stand the shame. I'm sorry, Bradley says, the words pathetically inadequate. But I can help now. If Jennifer sees this footage, if she knows we can prove Derek was guilty, she might make a mistake. Catherine's phone buzzes again. Jennifer. Michael's acting strange. Something's happening. Where are you? I have to go, Catherine says. If we're doing this, we need to sell it perfectly. She turns to Ryan, and for a moment, they just look at each other. Two people standing at the edge of something that could destroy them both or set them free. Trust me, she says simply. I trusted someone once, Ryan replies, glancing at Bradley. It cost me everything. Then trust your daughter, Catherine says, looking at Lily. She sees something worth saving in both of us. Ryan follows her gaze to his daughter, who's drawing again on a hospital notepad, another family portrait, but this time the three figures are holding hands. All right, he says finally. Let's give Jennifer Morrison the show she's been waiting for. Catherine returns to the office to find Jennifer pacing her floor, tablet clutched like a weapon. Where were you? Jennifer demands, her carefully maintained mask slipping slightly. The hospital called about the Cooper girl. You authorized treatment? I did, Catherine says coolly, settling behind her desk. It seems our janitor is more interesting than we thought. Did you know he used to be Ryan Cooper, the tennis player? Jennifer's eyes glitter with barely suppressed excitement. I had no idea. That's shocking. The man who was banned for doping, working here all along? I want him in the charity tournament, Catherine announces, watching Jennifer's reaction carefully. Think of the publicity. Disgraced champion gets a second chance, sponsored by Winters Industries. The media will go insane. But the scandal, Jennifer protests, though her protest sounds rehearsed. What if people think you're supporting a cheater? People love a redemption story, Catherine counters. Besides, I have a feeling there's more to his story than we know. I want you to handle all the arrangements. Media contacts, registration, everything. Can you do that? Of course, Jennifer says, her smile sharp as winter ice. I'll make sure everyone knows exactly who Ryan Cooper really is. As Jennifer leaves, Catherine catches her reflection in the window. For just a moment, her mask drops completely, revealing an expression of vicious triumph. 10 years of planning, and her prey has finally walked into the trap. That evening, Catherine meets Ryan at a small park near the hospital where Lily is recovering. The sun sets behind them, painting the sky in shades of amber and rose. They sit on a bench, watching the empty tennis courts, both thinking about games played and games yet to come. "She'll try to destroy you," Ryan says quietly. "Jennifer won't be satisfied with just exposure. She wants complete annihilation." "Then we give her a bigger target," Catherine replies. "Not just you, but us. Make her think she's destroying both of us." Ryan looks at her sharply. "There is no us. You're my boss. I'm your janitor. That's all." "Is it?" Catherine turns to face him fully. "Yesterday on that court, you could have humiliated me, could have claimed victory and walked away with your pride intact. But you didn't. You protected me, even though I'd been cruel to you." "You would have fired me," Ryan says simply. "No," Catherine shakes her head. "You did it because despite everything that's been done to you, you're still a good man. That's what Lily sees. That's what I'm starting to see." The air between them shifts, charged with possibility. But before either can speak again, Ryan's phone rings. It's the hospital. Lily's asking for both of them. They arrive to find her sitting up in bed, surrounded by drawings. She's recreated the tennis match from yesterday, but in her version, everyone is smiling. "I figured it out," she announces proudly. "Why you were both sad yesterday." "Oh?" Catherine asks, charmed despite everything. "You were playing the wrong game," Lily says seriously. "Tennis is supposed to be fun, but you were using it to be mean. That's why Daddy let you win. He didn't want to be mean back." The simple wisdom of it cuts through all their adult complications. Ryan hugs his daughter, and Catherine feels something crack open in her chest, something that's been frozen for years. "What game should we play instead?" Catherine asks. Lily thinks seriously, then brightens. "Doubles! You and Daddy versus the bad people. That way, you're on the same team." Ryan and Catherine exchange glances over her head. From the mouths of babes comes truth sharp enough to cut through any deception. The next 3 days pass in a blur of preparation. Catherine and Ryan maintain the charade, playing their roles perfectly. She's the imperious CEO giving a charity case a second chance. He's the grateful fallen champion seeking redemption. Jennifer orchestrates media coverage with frightening efficiency. Soon the entire city knows about the upcoming match. But behind the scenes, the real game unfolds. Agent Martinez's team tracks Jennifer's communications, documenting every contact with her criminal associates. Michael maintains his cover, pretending to be increasingly suspicious of Ryan, even suggesting to Jennifer that they could work together to ensure Ryan's final humiliation. "I found something interesting," Michael tells Jennifer in a staged conversation Catherine overhears. "Ryan Cooper has been in contact with someone named Bradley. Seems the old coach might have evidence about what really happened in Miami." Jennifer's eyes light up with predatory interest. "Evidence that proves his guilt? Or his innocence?" Michael says carefully. "Either way, wouldn't it be better if that evidence disappeared?" "Leave it to me," Jennifer says, already reaching for her phone. That night, someone breaks into Coach Bradley's apartment. But Bradley is ready. Hidden cameras, capturing everything. The intruder, a professional hired by Jennifer, searches frantically for the video footage, finds the fake USB drive Bradley left as bait, and leaves with it, not knowing the real evidence is safely in FBI custody. The charity tournament arrives on a perfect Saturday morning. The venue is packed with spectators, media, and security. Catherine wears designer tennis whites that cost more than most people's monthly salary. Ryan wears simple black shorts and a white shirt. No logos, no endorsements, just a man facing his past. Jennifer hovers at the edge of the court, her tablet recording everything. She's arranged for the match to be broadcast live on the company's website. The whole world will watch Ryan Cooper's final destruction. Or so she thinks. The tournament format is mixed doubles, Catherine and Ryan versus rotating pairs of opponents. Their first match should be easy, against two mid-level executives from accounting. But Ryan notices something wrong immediately. "Those aren't accountants," he murmurs to Catherine during warm-up. "Look at their movement, their grip. They're ringers, professionals brought in to embarrass us." Catherine's eyes narrow as she recognizes the trap. Jennifer's not waiting for the finals. She wants us destroyed in the first round. "Then we don't hold back," Ryan says, something shifting in his posture. If she wants Ryan Cooper the champion, she gets him. What follows is 20 minutes of tennis so beautiful it brings tears to some spectators' eyes. Ryan unleashes 10 years of suppressed skill, his serve reaching speeds that make the radar gun question its calibration. Catherine, inspired by his commitment, plays beyond her own limitations. They move together like dancers, anticipating each other's movements, covering the court with supernatural efficiency. The ringers don't score a single point. Jennifer's expression darkens as her plan crumbles. She types furiously on her tablet, activating contingency after contingency. During the break before the second match, she approaches Catherine. "We need to talk privately." They step into a side room, and Jennifer's mask finally drops completely. "You know," she says simply, "about me, about everything." "I know you're Derek Morrison's sister," Catherine replies calmly. "I know you've spent 10 years planning revenge for a brother who was guilty." Jennifer laughs, the sound sharp and bitter. "Guilty? My brother was a victim, pushed to desperate measures by people like Ryan Cooper, who made the sport impossible for anyone else. Your brother chose to cheat," Catherine says firmly. "Then he chose to frame an innocent man, and when he couldn't live with it, he chose to end his life rather than confess." "Shut up!" Jennifer snarls, her composure shattering. "You know nothing about choice. You were born into privilege, handed everything. My brother worked his entire life for one dream, and Ryan Cooper stole it." "Ryan earned it," Catherine counters, "and you've spent 10 years becoming a criminal to avenge a crime that never happened." Jennifer pulls out her phone, showing Catherine a live stream. It's Lily's hospital room, a man in scrubs standing near her bed. "One call," Jennifer says coldly. "One call, and that man gives her an injection that stops her heart. They'll call it complications from her condition. Tragic, but not unexpected." Catherine's blood turns to ice. "You wouldn't. She's an innocent child." "So was my brother once," Jennifer says. "Before the world of professional tennis destroyed him. Before Ryan Cooper destroyed him." "What do you want?" Catherine asks, though she already knows. "You're going to go out there and destroy Ryan publicly," Jennifer commands. "You're going to announce that you've discovered evidence he's been stealing from the company, that he's been planning to kidnap you for ransom. You're going to destroy him so completely that he'll wish he'd died 10 years ago. And if I refuse?" Jennifer holds up the phone, showing Lily sleeping peacefully, unaware of the danger inches away. "Then a little girl loses her father, and her father loses everything that matters." Catherine stares at Jennifer, seeing the decade of poison that's rotted her from the inside out. Then she makes a decision that surprises them both. "Okay," she says simply. "I'll do it." They return to the court where Ryan waits, concerned by Catherine's pale expression. She meets his eyes, trying to convey a message she can't speak. "Trust me. Please trust me." Catherine takes the microphone, addressing the crowd and the cameras. Jennifer watches from the sideline, phone ready to make the fatal call. "Ladies and gentlemen," Catherine begins, her voice carrying across the venue, "I have an announcement about Ryan Cooper." The crowd leans in, expecting scandal, expecting drama. Ryan tenses, prepared for betrayal. 10 years ago, this man was framed for a crime he didn't commit. Catherine continues, her voice growing stronger. He lost everything: his career, his reputation, his family. But he survived. He raised a daughter alone, working thankless jobs to pay for her medical care. Jennifer's face contorts with rage. She starts to dial, but stops as Catherine continues. The real criminal was Derek Morrison, who put performance-enhancing drugs in Ryan's water bottle out of jealousy and fear. We have proof, video evidence, that's been hidden for 10 years. The crowd gasps, phones appearing to record this revelation. On the giant screen above the court, the grainy security footage begins to play, showing Derek Morrison approaching Ryan's equipment bag. But this isn't just about clearing Ryan's name, Catherine continues, looking directly at Jennifer now. It's about stopping Derek Morrison's sister, Jennifer, who has spent 10 years planning revenge, including threatening the life of an innocent child. Jennifer drops her phone, realization dawning that she's been outmaneuvered. She turns to run, but Agent Martinez and her team are already there, weapons drawn. Jennifer Morrison, you're under arrest for conspiracy, money laundering, and attempted murder, Martinez announces. As Jennifer is handcuffed, she screams at Ryan, "You destroyed everything! My brother would have been great!" "Your brother was given every opportunity I was," Ryan says quietly. "The difference is, when he failed, he chose to blame others. I chose to keep living, keep fighting, for my daughter." The crowd erupts in chaos, media swarming for interviews. But in the middle of it all, Catherine and Ryan stand facing each other on the tennis court, where it all began. "You knew?" Ryan asks. "About the threat to Lily?" "Agent Martinez had someone protecting her the whole time," Catherine explains. "We needed Jennifer to reveal herself completely, needed her to confess on recording." "You risked everything for us," Ryan says wonderingly. "No," Catherine corrects, taking his hand in full view of the cameras. "I risked everything for family. The one Lily drew, the one that includes all three of us." Ryan looks at their joined hands, then up at her face, sees not the arrogant CEO who humiliated him, but a woman who fought for his daughter, who believed in his innocence when no one else would. "The match isn't over," someone in the crowd shouts. "Play the final!" Catherine and Ryan look at each other, then burst out laughing. The absurdity of playing tennis after everything that's happened is too much. "Actually," Ryan says loud enough for everyone to hear, "I have a different game to propose. Catherine Winters, you said if anyone could beat you at tennis, you'd marry them." The crowd goes silent, holding their collective breath. "But I don't want to beat you," Ryan continues, dropping to one knee right there on the court. "I want to play doubles with you for the rest of our lives. Will you marry me?" Catherine looks down at him, this man who lost everything and rebuilt himself with quiet dignity, who protected her even when she was cruel, who trusted her with his daughter's life. "Yes," she says simply, pulling him to his feet. "But I have a condition." "What's that?" "We pick up Lily from the hospital first. She needs to be here for this." 20 minutes later, Lily arrives in a wheelchair pushed by Coach Bradley, who's been reinstated as her temporary guardian. She's wearing her own tennis whites, insisted on by the nurses who've all fallen in love with her. "Daddy!" she calls out. "Did you win?" "Better than that, sweetheart," Ryan says, kneeling beside her chair. "Catherine said yes." Lily looks confused. "Yes to what?" "To being a family," Catherine explains, kneeling on her other side. "The one you drew. Would that be okay with you?" Lily's face lights up like the sun breaking through clouds. Really? You'll be my mom? The word mom hits Catherine unexpectedly hard. She hasn't thought that far ahead, hasn't considered what this really means. But looking at Lily's hopeful face, she knows there's only one answer. If you'll have me, she says softly. Lily throws her arms around both of them, her small body trembling with joy. The crowd erupts in applause, cameras flashing to capture this moment of pure happiness. Michael Harrison, no longer needing his cover, approaches with a genuine smile. The DEA is finished with our investigation. Winters Industries is clear of all criminal activity. And Jennifer? Catherine asks. Facing 20 to life, he confirms. Her associates have all been arrested. The money laundering operation is completely dismantled. Coach Bradley steps forward hesitantly. Ryan, I know I can never make up for my cowardice, but I want you to know I'm testifying at the reinstatement hearing. The Tennis Association has agreed to review your case. Full vindication, all records expunged. Ryan looks at his former coach, 10 years of anger warring with exhaustion. I don't need their vindication anymore, he says finally. I have everything I need right here. 6 months later, the same tennis court hosts a different kind of ceremony. White chairs arranged on the clay, flowers everywhere, and 300 guests waiting in anticipation. Ryan stands at the makeshift altar, wearing a suit for the first time in a decade. Beside him, Michael Harrison serves as best man. Their strange journey from adversaries to friends complete. The music begins, and Lily appears first, walking carefully in her flower girl dress. Her surgery was successful. The experimental treatment funded by the Winters Cooper Foundation for Pediatric Cardiac Care. She scatters rose petals with scientific precision, making sure each section of the aisle gets exactly the same amount. Then, Catherine appears, and Ryan forgets how to breathe. She's wearing a simple white dress that moves like water, her smile radiant and unguarded. She walks alone, strong and confident. She doesn't need anyone to give her away. She's choosing this, choosing them. When they exchange vows, Catherine goes first. Ryan Cooper, you taught me that strength isn't about never falling. It's about getting up every time you do. You showed me that winning isn't about the score. It's about who's standing beside you when the game ends. I promise to play doubles with you forever, to raise our daughter together, to face whatever comes as a team. Ryan's voice is thick with emotion. Catherine Winters, you saw through my disguise to the man I used to be. Then you helped me become someone better. You fought for my daughter when I couldn't. You believed in my innocence when I'd stopped believing in anything. I promise to love you both with everything I have, to be the husband and father you deserve. And I promise, Lily pipes up, making everyone laugh, to keep drawing pictures of our family, but maybe with less tennis and more dogs. We'll negotiate on the dogs, Catherine whispers, winking at her soon-to-be daughter. When the judge pronounces them married, when Ryan kisses Catherine while Lily hugs their legs, the applause is thunderous. The janitor and the CEO, the fallen champion and the ice queen, all those labels fall away, leaving just a family. The reception is held in the company ballroom, the same place where Catherine had once humiliated Ryan. Now it's filled with laughter and joy. Lily performs an impromptu dance with Agent Martinez, who's become an unofficial aunt. Coach Bradley sits quietly in a corner, finally at peace with his role in Ryan's redemption. During the father-daughter dance, Ryan holds Lily carefully as they sway to a slow song. She stands on his feet like she used to when she was younger. "Are you happy, Daddy?" she asks, looking up at him. "The happiest I've ever been," he answers honestly. "Good," she says seriously. "Because Catherine needs us. She was alone for a long time, like we were." The wisdom of children never ceases to amaze him. He kisses the top of her head, breathing in the scent of her shampoo and hospital disinfectant that still clings faintly. Catherine cuts in, taking Lily's hands while Ryan steps back to watch. His two girls dance together, Lily giggling as Catherine spins her. The drawing from that first day, the one of 3 people playing tennis under a rainbow. It's become their life, painted in real moments instead of crayon. As the evening winds down, Jennifer's former office has been converted into a nursery break room for employees with children. The money she'd hidden has been recovered and used to create an employee assistance fund. Every janitor, every service worker now has access to the same healthcare executives receive. Ryan's story has changed company policy. No regrets? Catherine asks, finding Ryan on the balcony overlooking the city. Only one, he admits, pulling her close. I wish I'd lost that tennis match sooner. We could have had more time. We have all the time in the world now, she reminds him. Below them, the city sparkles with millions of lights, each one representing a life, a story. But up here, in their bubble of happiness, only their story matters. Daddy! Mom! Lily calls from inside. Come look! They find her standing in front of a massive surprise gift from the employees. It's her drawing, the one of the family playing tennis, recreated as a beautiful oil painting. Now it's forever, Lily says proudly, and it is. The janitor who became a champion again, the CEO who learned to lose, the little girl who drew their family into existence. Forever starts now, on a tennis court, where love scored the final point.